Hello and welcome to Rajya Sabha Television. You're watching our coverage of the FIFA World Cup. I'm your host Frank Rausen Pereira, and with me are Nilanjan Datta, Senior Sports Journalist, and Jyoti Ann Burrett, Indian football player, of course. Thank you to the both of you for joining me on this edition of our coverage of the World Cup. Great matches last night, Nilanjan. I mean, Japan versus Belgium, what a mouth-watering contest it was.
Definitely, football is a game of 97 minutes nowadays. So till those 97 minutes, not of 90 minutes, you need to be on your toes.
Brazil versus Mexico, Jyoti, 2-up.
Brazil finally coming through, showing us what they're capable of, I think. So you can see them going far.
Okay, we'll talk about these matches in detail in just a bit. But first, of course, we'll look at today's matches. The first match is the round of 16 that will be played between Sweden and Switzerland. Sweden came into the World Cup as rank outsiders, yet they finished top in a group that contained Germany and Mexico. But now they are up against Switzerland, a team which has only lost one game in their last 25 matches.
Chasing its first quarter-final spot since 1994, Sweden will face Switzerland in the first match of round of 16 today. It has been 24 years since Sweden found itself in the last 8, while the Swiss haven't reached the FIFA World Cup quarter-finals since 1954. Both Sweden and Switzerland have enjoyed high points in Russia so far. The Swiss headed into the last 16 after finishing runners-up in Group E and are unbeaten in the tournament so far. The Swiss side has also risen to the 6th position in the FIFA rankings with an impressive run of just one loss in their last 25 matches. However, they will be without centre-back Fabian Char and skipper Stefan Lichtsteiner, who are both suspended, with veteran Johan Giroud likely to start in the heart of defence. On the other hand, Sweden reached the round of 16 after defeating South Korea in their opening game and Mexico 3-0 in their final group game. Sweden will be without the experienced Sebastian Larsson, who misses the game due to suspension and could be replaced by Gustav Svensson or Oskar Hiljemark.
Ja, ich glaube, im Moment positive Gedanken und haben wir einen Moment auch Möglichkeit gehabt, herunterfahren, uns erholen und jetzt ab gestern haben wir angefangen, intensiver dieses Spiel zu vorbereiten.
This will be the 30th meeting between Sweden and Switzerland, but the first ever at a major tournament. Out of the previous encounters, Switzerland has won 11, while Sweden has won 10, and 8 ended in a draw. With a couple of big names like Stefan Lichtsteiner and Fabian Char missing from the Swiss side, it will be a golden chance for Sweden to book their place in the last 8. Kumar Abhishek's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, let's now go across to my colleague Tina Char, who is standing by in the stats zone.
Thank you, Frank. Welcome to the Stat Zone. I'm Tina Char. We are now 3/4 of the way through the round of 16. After tonight, the quarter-final lineup will be set. Of all the teams in the bottom half of the draw, Sweden are one of only 2 to have reached a FIFA World Cup final in the past, although that was 60 years ago. The other previous finalists, England, were present at the big occasion 8 years later. Whatever happens over the next 12 days, one of the finalists on the 15th of July will be a relatively new face. Coming to tonight's match, both of the all-European clashes in the round of 16 so far have been decided on penalty kicks. Will Sweden and Switzerland make it 3 out of 3? Well, the two have played 29 times in the last 98 years, with the Swiss edging the record with 11 wins to 10. But this is the first time the two are meeting at a major international competition. Talking about the players to watch out for. For Sweden, it'll be Marcus Berg, and for Switzerland, it'll be Xherdan Shaqiri. 31-year-old Marcus Berg arrived in Russia this month as a striker who has come into his own. He will be the key if Sweden wants to make a mark tonight. Berg has appeared in 60 matches for Sweden, scoring 18 goals. He is yet to score at the World Cup. For Switzerland, all eyes will be on Xherdan Shaqiri as the 26-year-old takes the field against Sweden. A frustrated talent at club level, it seems Shaqiri has saved his best off the big international stage and is putting himself in the shop window at the World Cup. He has played 73 matches for his country, scoring 21 goals. Out of these, 4 goals have come at the World Cup. For now, that's it from me from the Stat Zone.
Thank you, Tina. Let's now take a look first at the lineup as far as Sweden is concerned. Olsen will be in goal for the Swedes. He plays his club football at Copenhagen, Denmark. There's Lustig, Lindelof, Granqvist, who's unattached at the moment but will be playing with Helsingborg's IF after the World Cup. There's Augustinsson, Claesson, Svensson, Ekdal, Forsberg, Berg and Toivonen. This will make up the playing 11 as far as Sweden is concerned. Moving on now to Switzerland. Summer in goal, Lang, Joru, Akanji, Rodriguez, Berami, Shaka, Shaqiri, Zemali, Zubair and Seferovic will make up the lineup for the Swiss. And let's now take a look at the formation of the two teams, starting with Sweden on our screens right now. A 4-4-2 kind of a formation, 4 defenders, 4 midfielders and 2 strikers. We'll take a look now at the Swiss team, which is likely to play a 4-2-3-1 kind of a formation. 4 defenders, 2 defensive midfielders, 3 attacking midfielders and 1 out-and-out forward. Jyoti, Switzerland versus Sweden. It might not be as flary as a Japan versus Belgium match, but it still could be a good one.
I think it's going to be a very close contest. Both teams sort of finding themselves at a very crucial stage of this competition, wanting to go through. You know, Sweden is a team that's impressed us. With their last win against Mexico, they looked very impressive attacking wise, but then we saw their defensive priors, you know, how they can defend against Germany. So they're a side that definitely can do both. Whereas Switzerland, you know, they need to start this game on a high note. They always start sort of slow, but they need to come out with all guns blazing today.
Switzerland ranked quite high in the FIFA World Rankings. You know, they have done reasonably well in this particular tournament, coming out of a tough group as well. Expecting big things from them today?
The makeshift defense pair is a kind of a problem for them. Because such teams are, as you rightly mentioned, don't have that much of a flair who prefer to play the ball around. So these teams, both these teams in fact, represent how the football has evolved over the last few years or last 2-3 decades or so, the evolution of football. Modern teams who press well, pass well, back each other up and down. So unless that defensive pair is sorted out, Leistner and Char are the 2 guys who will be missing out. That can be a kind of an advantage for Sweden.
Talking about Sweden and of course the players that Nilanjan just mentioned, let's look at the players to watch out for in this particular match. Marcus Berg from Sweden is the one we believe that we need to watch out for today. 31 years of age, 60 matches, 18 goals and he's an experienced campaigner. You know, in a match like this, Jyoti, experience does play a big role, doesn't it?
It does. You know, so much comes down to mental strength at this level, and we've seen that even in last night's game. You know, Sweden is a team with no big superstars, and I think that's what's working for them. Everyone's equal, and you know, everyone's working together as a great unit, and they're doing well.
Sure, and if you look at the other player, of course, as far as Switzerland is concerned, Shaqiri is the man to watch out for, we believe. He's had a good tournament thus far, and a lot will be riding on his shoulders. 26 years of age, 73 matches, 21 goals, 4 World Cup goals as well is what he has scored. He plays in the English Premier League with Stoke City. Quite a flary player. Not very well built, but I mean not tall, but he is well built at the end of the day. A lot riding on him, isn't it?
Without any doubt, the physical presence and challenge from the Swedish side, he has to get past them. Unless he gets past them, because Sweden would be physical without any doubt. And both these teams, as she taking from where she left, Sweden's biggest plus point is that what she said rightly, no stars, and that's where the Zlatan factor comes up, because you don't need players who are bigger than the team. We have had this World Cup, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, bigger than your own country, bigger than your own team, which Zlatan has always been for Sweden. Neymar isn't bigger than Brazil. Brazil is much bigger than Neymar. Maybe that explains everything for Sweden.
Indeed. All right, moving on to the other match of the day now, the late night start at 11:30 p.m. Colombia will clash with England in their round of 16 match later tonight. While England has been a better side this tournament, Colombia have come back strongly after its 2-1 defeat to Japan in its opening game. The winner of this match will play either Sweden or Switzerland.
England will take the field tonight, knowing history is on their side as they have never lost to Colombia. Of the 5 matches the two teams have played, England has won 3 while 2 have ended in a draw. But the last time England faced Colombia was 13 years ago. This Colombian team looks good to take the battle to their opponents. The team has also impressed in the last World Cup, reaching the quarter-finals only to be stalled by the host Brazil.
Solo deseamos disfrutarlo con la responsabilidad del caso, que significa hacer el plan que tenemos como equipo y, como te dije, manejar esta ilusión con la mayor responsabilidad posible, sabiendo de que tenemos una gran oportunidad en nuestras manos.
While the Colombians will be bracing to take on the England, they'll be working on a game plan to counter All Blighty's striker Harry Kane, who is currently leading the tally of goal scorers with 5 to his name.
We are the youngest team left in and we're the most inexperienced team left in, but we've got some old fogies as well who help the younger ones to get through it and show super leadership. And everything's ahead for this team. You know, they're really hungry.
The last time two teams met in a World Cup game was in 1998, where England won 2-0. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, let's now go over to our stats zone where Tina Char is standing by.
Let me now get you the stats related to the second game tonight, the match between Colombia and England. England have been quite prolific in Russia and they will probably have to score at least 2 goals to prevail in tonight's match. Since Colombia boasts an enviable scoring record at the FIFA World Cup in recent times, they have found the net in their last 8 World Cup matches. England and Colombia have faced each other 5 times in the past. 2 of those matches have ended in a draw, while the other 3, as you can see on your screens, have all been won by England. The 2 sides last met in May 2005. Talking about the players to look out for, England will be looking up to its captain Harry Kane, while Colombia will be rallying behind Radamel Falcao. Let's focus first on the man leading the race for the Golden Boot, Harry Kane. 2 matches, 5 goals at this World Cup. The humble Kane would love to follow in the top-scoring footsteps of legends like Eusebio, Ronaldo and England's very own Gary Lineker. But he will be pursuing that dream by focusing on the collective. With last World Cup's Golden Boot winner James Rodriguez sitting out due to injury, it will all come down to Radamel Falcao to lead Colombia on the field. England is aware of the former Manchester United striker Falcao's abilities, even though he suffered unhappy and unsuccessful loan spells at both United and Chelsea. He's played 68 matches for Colombia, scoring 30 goals. He will now be looking to improve upon his World Cup goal scoring numbers tonight.
Thank you, Tina. And now let's take a look at the possible starting lineups for both these teams, starting first with England, who will have Pickford in goal, Walker, Stones, Maguire will make the defence. The midfield will consist of Trippier, Dele Alli, Henderson, Lingard and Rose. 2 out-and-out forwards, Sterling and Kane. Moving on to the other team now, Colombia on our screens right now. Ospina in goal, Arias, Mina, Davidson and Mojica will make up the defence. Carlos Sanchez, Uribe, Cuadrado and Quintero will make up, as well as Muriel, of course, will make up the midfield, and Falcao will be the lone striker. Let's take a look now at the team formations. England first on our screens, 3-5-2 kind of a formation for England, which will have 3 central defenders, 5 midfielders and 2 forwards. We'll shift our focus now to Colombia, which will have a 4-2-3-1 kind of a formation. 4 defenders, 2 defensive midfielders, 3 attacking midfielders, and 1 out-and-out forward. Jyoti, Colombia versus England. Last match as far as this round is concerned, and it will be an interesting match, won't it?
It will be, and I'm dying to see England finally be tested, you know, at this World Cup. They rested a lot of their players against Belgium, so we didn't really see their potential in that game. And against Panama and Tunisia, of course, you know, they had it easy. Tonight will be their first real test, full squad, going up against a very tough South American side, very physical. With this, you know, these 4 South American, their front, you know, attacking players working so well together, going up against a 3-man defense, it's going to be interesting to see how they handle it.
How they handle it without James Rodriguez as well is a big question, because he could be on the bench, he could start. There's a lot of speculation around whether he's going to play, whether he's not going to play. He is injured, of course. Whether he recovers in time yet it remains to be seen. He will be missed today, won't he?
He will be missed, but there's always 2 sides of the coin. James, despite being James Rodriguez, is not one who falls back and adds to your defense. So he's not a very good defender, which most of the midfielders need to do. England are fast, pacey, young, energetic side. So in that case, maybe that's an advantage. But however, again, he being James Rodriguez, if it's a 3-man defense, which England are playing, his creativity with Quintero, Cuadrado, or maybe Radamel Falcao, obviously Colombia would be missing that.
Indeed. And talking about players to watch out for, of course, the man that we believe will be the man for England today is Harry Kane, 24 years of age, 26 matches, 18 goals, and he scored in the World Cup as well. The man for today's match. Jyoti, do you think Harry Kane?
Yes, he's the informed striker. You know, he's been scoring from set pieces, from open play. He's someone who they want to give the ball to in the box, and he's someone they expect to score with that. So him along with Sterling, I think, up front for England are going to be the main people that England's going to be looking at.
And as far as the other team is concerned, Colombia, Radamel Falcao is the man to watch out for, we believe, especially in the absence of James Rodriguez. 32 years of age, 68 matches, 30 goals he scored in the World Cup as well. Lot riding on this man's shoulders, especially if James Rodriguez doesn't play, doesn't it? I mean, he's a prolific striker, but he has to deliver today.
He hasn't delivered as yet in this World Cup. The leader, the captain, if you don't pick up your socks, pull up your socks on this day, on this kind of a day, when will you do it? But it's not only him. Colombia, one thing which I feel is, England have scored most of the goals from the set pieces. So they need to avoid conceding free kicks in and around the box, in the zone rather, and the corner kicks and the corners. If they are able to do it and feed Radamel Falcao each and every time they get it, along with Cuadrado and Quintero, it can be a match on.
All right. Okay, on that note then, we'll slip into a short break. On the other side, we'll take a look at the matches that were played last evening and decipher them for you. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.